Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Response Able Solution. I'm Stanley J. Targos III. I'm your host, and today I'm going to do a deeper dive into the healthy mindset. We just opened the door and talked about investing for your future, for your 401k. And I shared with you that I'm not going to give you tax advice. I'm not going to give you investment advice. I'm not going to tell you the stocks, bonds, and mutual funds to pick. That's not my skill set. I'm not qualified to do that, and I'm not going to do it. But I am qualified to talk about ideas and concepts. I've been in the financial world for over 20 years, studying the best minds, meeting with the best people, run thousands of client meetings. I've designed thousands of solutions. And the one thing that keeps coming up, and it was reminded of me recently, is why are young people under so much pressure to fund their 401k right out of college? Well, the common theory is the person who starts funding their retirement or saving for retirement at 23 outperforms the person who starts saving at 30. And we mentioned in the short video, that's correct if you're only going to save $200 a month forever. But let's ask a different question. What if I told you that most of the people that I meet don't qualify to fund their retirement account right out of college because it's not the priority? The healthy mindset that we're talking about involves aligning your priorities with your goals and making sure that your money is working the same as your priorities. When we have discontent, it's because our money is not working in the same priority that our life needs. And we can go down many rabbit holes to talk about this, but let me ask you an example. Talk to someone who's right out of college and they said, man, all my friends are doing their 401ks and they're funding their retirement and they're browbeating me because I'm not funding it and I feel like a loser and I'm falling behind and I'm not winning. I said, hang on. Ask your friends this question or make this statement. Say, of course, you're funding your 401k to the max. You've already built a savings account. You've already built an emergency fund. You've already funded the down payment on your home. You've already funded the wedding ring for your spouse. You've already paid for your car. So it's natural that your next step should be to fund your retirement account to the maximum levels. If you've done those 5 other things, of course you should. I'm just not there yet. My priority isn't to fund me at age 65. My priority is to fund me at age 23 to 40. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be irresponsible about my future, but it does mean I'm going to prioritize my goals and have a strategy and a plan that meets my ability to live today, survive today, thrive today without sacrificing my future. The person who's got all their money in their retirement account, their traditional one, when life happens and they don't have a savings account, they don't have an emergency fund, they don't have a college fund for their kids, they don't have a down payment for their home, they haven't paid for the wedding, they haven't paid for the ring, they haven't paid for the car, they haven't paid for the health exam, they haven't paid for the LASIK. What are they going to do? Go borrow against their 401k because that's the only asset they have? That's the most expensive way to buy something. What are you going to do? Pay down your house as fast as possible? Is that your priority? That might be your parents' priority at 55 or 60 because they're getting ready to retire. But is your goal at age 25, 30, 35, or 40 to pay your house off as fast as possible? Shouldn't be. Why do you put all the pressure? Why do we put all that pressure on us to build things that way? That's the wrong way to build things, in my opinion. In my opinion, we shouldn't start by building something that's 30 years out today. We need to start with a foundation. Let me give you an analogy. When you're building a house, what's the first thing you do after you buy the land? Dig a basement. Or if you're in the South, put a slab down and build a foundation. Financially, starting with your retirement account first as aggressively as possible is like saying, I'm going to have this beautiful house, but what I'm going to really do is I'm going to build this big, beautiful roof. In fact, it's going to be a beautiful roof with a castle point on it. It's going to have beautiful clay Spanish shingles on it. It's going to have architecture design. It's going to have wraparound shingles. It's going to be beautiful. And then you wake up in 2 years when the roof is built and you think, how do I build the house under it? I got to have some helicopters show up and lift it up and hope that they lift it perfectly, because if one lifts it higher, it's going to crack and I'm going to have to rebuild it. You'd never start by building the roof first. You start with a foundation. That's what we're talking about at the Response Able Solution is how do we give everyone the ability to build a foundation? And you might be 25, you might be 45, you might be 65. If you've never built a foundation, start with the foundation. And your foundation gives you the ability to build upon it. It doesn't mean that you're going to decorate the whole inside of the house and paint the whole inside of the house before you put the roof on. But it does mean you're going to build the structure and then put the roof on. And it does mean that you're not only going to focus on the roof for the next 20 years because you want to have a kitchen and appliances. And during that 20 to 30-year period, you need new carpet, new hardwood floors, new windows. There's maintenance, a new driveway. You got to put something in the garage, new cars. You might have to buy new beds, from cribs to toddler beds to adult beds. You might need to change your bedroom. If your whole focus is only on the roof, how do you do that? Not very efficiently, and it's not very joyful, and there's limited fulfillment. So as we're building our foundation, as we're getting ready to step out, let's make sure that we're teaching everybody, regardless of what season in life. And if you've never built a foundation, let's start by building the foundation. And it doesn't have to be built on the people around you's timing. It's got to be based on your timing. What's the next thing you need to take care of in your life? Listen, I've gone through several seasons in my life where I've needed seasons of debt because I bought a house, I changed offices, I got a new car, I updated the house, I needed a new garage door, I had to put insulation, I had 2 kids in 2 years or 3 years, and I had a third kid right when all that happened. Well, that's a season where all the savings in the emergency fund was wiped out. Should I put extra pressure on myself to massively fund my retirement account during that season? No way. I needed to step back. I needed to rebuild my emergency account. I needed to rebuild my savings, and then at the right time, rebuild my retirement or continue to add to my retirement. You see, everything is customized, it's personal. I can't fall into the trap of the pressure that my grandparents or my parents or my siblings feel. They all have different lives. They're not married to the same person I'm married to. They don't make the same income I make. They don't have the same kids that I have. They don't live in the same area I live in. They don't have the same goals that I have. Why should I follow their plan? Doesn't it make sense that their plan is working for them? Your plan is working for you. Maybe you talk about some of the nuances and maybe you try something, but you don't shift your whole plan because what's working for them is working for them. They're not you. I love when I see people who say, yeah, you should be doing this because I didn't do it. Well, now that you're 20 years later, have you ever built a foundation? What are you going to tell me 20 years from now? Yeah, you should have built the foundation instead of building the roof. Thanks. I appreciate it. But I got a plan. I have a response-able solution that gives me the ability to respond to the next season in life without derailing my future. You should get one of those. That would be a great place to start. What if everyone graduated college and was required to have a guaranteed practical solution that showed them how to eliminate the college debt, how to build a savings account, how to build an emergency fund, how to never go into debt again for minor things, the right time to buy a house, the right time to buy the next car, the right time to fund your 401k up to the match, then the right time to be aggressive and really plow money in that bad boy. What if you eliminated all your debt by the time you were 30 except for your mortgage and were able to take all of your debt payments and fund your retirement at that point? That 30-year-old will outperform the 23-year-old who's doing $200 a month every day of the week and twice on Sundays. That's what we're lacking, is the ability to have a response-able solution to teach young people how to survive, because those of us in our middle ages haven't figured it out, but we're learning. You don't have to repeat my mistakes. I think I shared before, I had $6 million flow through my economy in the last 20 years. I don't even have $1 million of that. I don't want my kids to make that mistake. I don't want your kids to make that mistake. I don't want you to make that mistake. If you want to get yourself really upset, think of how much money you spent in the last 20 years and then how much money you earned how much money you spent, and how much money you actually have. It pales in comparison. If I received $6 million in one lump sum, I'd still have $6 million today or more. But it comes in a flow. It comes in income. Seasons in life aren't as easy as 1, 2, 3. But I do know this. If you're feeling pressure because someone wants you to follow their plan for your life, tell them thanks for the suggestions. But if you're not going to be there to stroke a check and help me when I need it, I might not follow your suggestion, and I don't need to buy into your pressure. But everyone qualifies for a response-able solution and a guaranteed practical solution, a GPS. Get with the person who invited you. Get that so you can at least have a roadmap. At least you can make an educated decision on what direction you want to go and what it looks like. That's more information than most people have by the time they reach 60. And I know because I've been in front of thousands of families several times a year for the last decade or more. I see it every day. It's what drives me. Helping people make better decisions with better information. Our goal is to change the landscape of America one family at a time by empowering the leader to make decisions based on facts, not fear. And that doesn't happen by following someone else's plan in your life. That happens by following your plan for your life. So I hope this helps. I look forward to meeting you. I hope you have a great day. God bless you.